Hey Aries, welcome to your weekly forecast from May 2nd through the 8th. We did recently have an eclipsed new moon on April 30th. Therefore, this is an energy that's going to follow us through the next 6 months. So, a lot of the things coming up in this weekly forecast might be around for a while. There could be things that are being set into motion this week that might be lingering for a while. So, we're going to see what messages are coming up here for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And you're going to find this message whenever you're meant to hear it, whenever it's time for you to hear it. Keep in mind, not every single message is going to resonate, so take what does and leave what doesn't. We're going to connect and see what is coming up here for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I know some of you are like, what about Venus? What about Venus? I do love readings separate on my channel. So I have a link in the description that will take you to the love readings. And the weekly forecast, I want it to be about you, Aries. I want to focus on you, your journey, less on other people, more about you. So first card coming up for our lovely Aries friends is the Lovers, which is interesting because this was also the first card that came up for Scorpio. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio. If you have a Scorpio placement, there can be big changes or big shifts happening for you in those areas of your life. If you have a Gemini placement, there can be big changes or big shifts happening for you in those areas of your life. You may be having to make choices or decisions here coming up. I know that also it can indicate some of you are dealing with a Gemini. I know that people see the Lovers card and immediately they're like love. Immediately they're like romance. And don't get me wrong, that can very well be one of the meanings of the card. So under this new moon energy, some of you may be manifesting a significant new relationship. Or maybe some of you are asking for a soulmate or for true love to come in. Now, here's where it gets kind of complicated. For those of you who don't know, who haven't heard me say this before, and I don't mean to be like, actually, and push up my little glasses here, but the fact of it is this. When the tarot was first put together, the sixth major arcana card was not called the Lovers. Some decks called it the choice, some decks called it the decision, some decks called it the sacrifice. It wasn't until much later when tarot was becoming more commercialized and there were like the modern decks being marketed to people that the Lovers card began to be called the Lovers. Because this is a card about choices, decisions, and sacrifices. What do you want? And what are you willing to do to get it, and how much is too much, and do you want A or do you want B, do you want this or do you want that? So in terms of relationships, you might be having to ask yourself, what are your deal breakers, or do you want this person or that person? If you did some kind of ritual or intention setting around the new moon where you were like, okay, angels, okay, guides, bring me love, bring me love, bring me love, bring me my soulmate. And then now we have the Gemini card coming up. This is telling me, and I'm telling you this so that you can fast forward for yourself to get to the results. I'm telling you this to save time for yourself. As it stands right now, the Lover's card is telling me your angels and guides are forced to take you to the buffet right now because you don't have a very clear definition of your mind of what love is and how you want that love expressed to you. You may be manifesting right now more of a lover. You may be manifesting right now more passion, but you haven't filled in the details yet. Some of you have heard me say, I had a friend of mine come to me and say, Amethyst, I'm married to an amazing guy. He's absolutely wonderful. He's great to me, but I don't think that I married the right guy because I don't think this is love. Like neither one of us is like eager to text each other all day while we're at work. Neither one of us is eager to run home and hold hands on the couch while we're watching TV and just spend the whole weekend together. Like we're not inseparable. To her, in her mind, when you're in love, you're inseparable, right? I love romance just as much as the next person, but that would drive me mad. Like I need some space. I need some, I can't be conjoined at the hip all the time. It's not my place to tell her, well, sweetie, maybe that's codependent. Or, what, sweetie, maybe you should practice doing things outside of the relationship. It's not my place to tell her that. Because on our journey, as we're experiencing life, we get to experience and define things for us, define our truth, right? And we get to define what love is for us. So my dream relationship and your dream relationship may be completely different. My idea of love and your idea of love may be completely different. And you don't have, some of you, a very clear definition of what that is right now. You're just saying true love, or you're just saying soulmate, but you're not clear on what that is for you, how you want this person to express love outside of the romance, outside of the kissing and the cuddling and the passion and the, days spent in bed, outside of that stuff. How do you want this relationship to work? What is life like with this person in the everyday? What is life like with this person at, 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, 4 p.m. on a Sunday? What is the everyday life like? What are you all doing together? And so these are the things that need to be defined. Otherwise, or maybe some of you are just saying, just make me happy, whatever it is. Well, guess what? If you don't have a clear definition, you're going to the buffet. You're going to have people and opportunities presented to you to taste, to touch, to experience, and to figure out what you want, to figure out what you like. Some of you maybe are feeling some shame. Maybe you feel like you were a little bit promiscuous, but you know what? No shame in that. That was your journey, that was your adventure, and that was the way you needed to figure out yourself, and that was the way you needed to figure out what's going to be good for you, right? But a lot of you are coming out of that buffet situation or about to come into a buffet situation because your angels and guides are like, we need you to figure this out. We can't override your free will. And this is something that you have to define for yourself. So, choices, decisions, some of you are going to be sampling different opportunities. For me, it was like that, not in love life, but in career. I have worked every job under the sun. I can't, like, people tease me about it all the time. They're like, there's no job you haven't done, almost. There's some things I haven't done. But, you know, for whatever it is, it can be in career, it could be in love life. You may be coming into a journey of like finding yourself or trying to figure out your passion. If you can go within and figure this out within yourself, then you can skip over the sampling. Okay, next card coming up here for Aries is the Eight of Swords. And this is a card where we need to be a little bit aware or a little bit cautious. Sometimes the Eight of Swords comes up because we're feeling stuck and we're feeling trapped and we want somebody to come in and take us by the hand and, get us out of the situation. And we're like, God, universe, angels, guides, if you want me to change my life or if you want me to make changes, you need to send me somebody to help me. I can't do this by myself. You got to send me a better person or a better situation. And we sit and we wait for this person to come in. The problem is this: when we're in Eight of Swords energy, we got to keep in mind, like attracts like and energy attracts energy. So the best case scenario is we're going to attract someone who's also an Eight of Swords energy. They're not going to be able to come in and contribute. They're going to be looking at us to take the lead, or they're going to be looking at us to come in with a solution, and that can be very frustrating for the two of you. Worst case scenario is you'll call in an opportunist, someone who's going to come in and take advantage of the situation, someone who's going to come in and be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to help you, but they're really trying to take, or they're looking at this as a situation like to get in your pants or to get into your wallet or whatever it might be. So we want to be cautious of not being in this Eight of Swords energy, because energy attracts energy and like attracts like. Also, we're not going to find the kind of people we want that are going to be a change, that are going to be a difference from the slimy people that are around us. We're not going to find that person in that circle or in that territory, right? The high vibe people aren't hanging out with the slimy people. And you're not a slimy person. You're ascending, you're evolving. So guess what? You got to get out of the slimy territory. You got to take some steps. You got to get out of there. Once you step out of the circle, you're going to find the high vibe people. And this can be through taking a class that you're interested in, or signing up for something that you would be interested in being involved in, or checking out a certain group or spiritual center or church, or taking up hobbies that are interesting to you. And this is how you're going to start making friends and finding people that are aligned with your energy and that are not in this circle of sliminess. Okay, we got to step out of it, because those people aren't going to come into the low vibrational territory. And you're not going to be able to breathe and survive in the low vibrational territory because you've ascended. So you got to step out of it. Okay. And so I'm telling you, my dears and my darlings, it's not. I'm not telling you it's going to be a piece of cake. It's scary. It's scary to take those first few steps. It's scary to kind of just like put yourself out there like that. But once you do, the ball is really rolling, and you'll be surprised the people and the opportunities that end up on your path as a result. But you got to get out of the danger. You got to get out of the icky situation, right? Right now, she's in more danger by allowing herself to be blindfolded and staying in that vulnerable situation. God knows who may come upon her and do whatever they're going to do. And so it's safer for her to take matters in her own hands, to realize this rope is not that tight around her. She can shimmy her way out of it. She can push that blindfold off of her eyes, and she can see that she's not trapped. She has plenty of room to walk. And she can even grab a few of those swords and turn them into a way to keep herself protected or have tools. She can take some of them and sell them, right? So the thing that she thinks is the problem could very well be a part of the solution. So Aries, some of you are feeling stuck, or you're feeling trapped in that you're saying, well, I don't fit in. I don't fit in. And there's a huge thing right now about neurodiversity, right? Neurodiversity is the new term for autism, ADHD. I forget what other things go under it. ASD. And so a lot of people are in, this is a spectrum. And so a lot of people are realizing that they're neurodivergent. A lot of people are realizing that they're on the spectrum where their brain works different. Their brain does not work the way that this world is designed for people to think and behave and act. Neurodivergent people aren't great with social norms. They don't understand why we have to pretend. They don't understand why we have to go along with something when it's clearly BS. Like, these are people that they can't fake things, and they might have a really hard time fitting into like the way the work culture is formed, right? The way that the work class is made to function. And so a lot of people just feel like, well, you know what? I don't fit in society. I can't hold down a job. I can't clock in and out. I can't be there and deal with the politics and the BS. So I guess that means I'm stuck and I'm just going to live a miserable life. Meanwhile, those differences that you think are keeping you stuck are the things that you can use to your advantage to do things your way, or to go into a different field or a different type of work. And you can use it to your advantage. And you're not as stuck as you think you are. Okay? A lot of people aren't designed to function in the way that we've been forced to function and since the industrial period, right? Like, a lot of us just are not able to fit into that. And that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. right? It goes against human nature, right? We're all like just a bunch of birds that were taken and put into a cage, or fish that were taken and put into a fish bowl. Like it's just, it goes against what we are. And so don't see this as, oh my God, something is wrong with me. Something is wrong with me. Therefore, I'm doomed to be miserable. Therefore, I'm doomed to not be loved or have the right partner, or I'm doomed to not be successful. That's not the case. The things that you're seeing as problems or deficiencies or defects are actually very wonderful things about you. And you can use them to your advantage. You're not as stuck as you think you are. The next card that's coming up here for you all, my dears and my darlings, is the Ten of Cups. And Ten of Cups is that blissfulness. It's that happiness. It's happiness and contentment and satisfaction in every area of your life. So some of you need to come out of that limited thinking, that limited belief of, oh, well, I guess you can't have it all. You can be successful in career and not successful in love. Or you can be rich in love but very poor in money. Or, oh, you can have great friends and a crappy family. You can't have it all. And the Ten of Cups says nonsense. You can be happy and satisfied and content in every area of your life. And you can have inner peace. Now, I know a lot of people are used to watching tarot for love and romance. So Ten of Cups gets typecast as marriage and babies. Oh, you're going to get married. Oh, you're going to have babies. And heck, we've got a couple here with a baby on the card even. And don't get me wrong, this can very well be something that some of you are manifesting. Even if you're an Aries, that it's later in your life. And you're like, well, I don't know. I might have to take fertility supplements. I might have to get IVF. I might have to, find a surrogate mother. Even if that's the case, some of you may be manifesting that. You may be manifesting marriage and babies. But I have to emphasize this. The deeper meaning of Ten of Cups is you're happily ever after. And that's going to be different for different ones of us. Not everybody has the happily ever after of marriage and babies. Some of you, that is the last thing you want. Some of you have been there, done that, and you're like, okay, well, what's next? All my babies are grown up and they have their own babies and they're living their own life. And what am I going to do now, right? So it's not always marriage and babies. Ten of Cups is fulfillment, inner peace, happiness in every aspect of your life. It's your happily ever after. And so this is something that you're going to be coming into. And I feel like what these cards are telling you is that it's not too late and you're not too flawed for it. Some of you Aries may be really hard on yourself right now. Like you're feeling you're not good enough, or you're feeling like you were past, or things about your personality or things about your nature are preventing you from being happy. But you know what? These are things that you can apply positively. And there are people out there who are like you, who want you. They don't want the opposite of you. They want you, right? We all have our tribe. And by getting involved in the things that your heart calls to you, that interest you, that you're passionate about, you're going to find your tribe. You're going to find people who are like you, who are going to embrace you and who are going to accept you and not try to change you. I feel like some of you have been walking in an image as like a way of survival because you saw it as like, well, this is how I have to be. I have to be the macho jock, or I have to be the cute, innocent little girl next door, or I have to be the hot and wild, sultry temptress, or, whatever it is. A lot of you have taken on some kind of persona because you've needed it to survive, but it's not who you are. And so I feel there's like a sense of coming into authenticity for a lot of you. And the sooner you come into your authenticity, the sooner you're making real connections and having satisfying opportunities present themselves to you. Now, your next card here is the Nine of Swords, and this is no surprise. The Nine of Swords comes up when we're feeling overwhelmed or afraid about the future. We may be worried about what other people are thinking about us or what they're saying about us. We may be worried about all of the things that could possibly go wrong in the future. And what we need to remember when we're in the Nine of Swords energy, just because something is possible, it doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? You might have some real fears. You're not worried about ridiculous things. You're not worried that, what if I'm walking down the street and a shark falls from a tree and bites me? You're not worried about ridiculous things like that. You know there's no possible way for it to happen. But other things that are terrifying, what if I get fired from my job? What if I get laid off? What if I never find love? What if I find out my partner's cheating on me? What if this? What if that? Those are things that could actually happen. And that's what makes them so scary. But the thing is that just because it's possible to go wrong, it doesn't mean that it's going to go wrong. Get out of that thinking of Murphy's Law, right? Oh my God, I believe that wholeheartedly in my younger years, and boy, did I manifest it. Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You don't want to have that thinking. Now, negative ego is going to come up and scare you, and you can diffuse negative ego. You can take the wind out of the sails by saying, "Oh, okay, all right, thank you, negative ego. Excellent. All right, that could go wrong. All right, so what could I do to prevent that from happening? And what backup plan can I put in place in case that goes wrong? What if it happens anyway?" So we can use it as an opportunity to think ahead and to be prepared. The rest we surrender and we give to God. God, these are the things I'm scared might go wrong. Here's what I'm doing to keep it from happening. If there's anything else I can do, help me to realize and see that. If it's in the best and highest good of all involved, please don't allow these things to go wrong. But if for some reason they have to, just please help me and guide me through it as quickly and as painlessly as possible. And just surrender it. Do your best and surrender the rest. That's all you can do. So stop beating yourself up. Also, you might not be getting enough sleep. And that's crucial because what happens? When we're not getting enough sleep, we're very tired. When we're tired, we're very emotional. We're not rested. Our hormones are out of whack. And so our emotions are much more intense, are much more severe. We're going to be in anxiety. We're going to be in fear. We're going to be in worry. So the Nine of Swords says sleep. Do what you can to sleep, because a lot of this worry, a lot of this heightened emotion can be due to just the fact that you're tired. You're really tired and it's making you super emotional. Okay, Aries, I hope this is helpful. I do feel there's good things coming for you. I think you just need to practice getting in your authenticity and less concerned about meeting the expectations of the people around you, being in your authentic energy, allowing yourself to do things that interest you or bring you joy, and the good things will unfold from there, will align from there. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks those might resonate more than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. Also, the love readings for May are linked in the description. And don't forget, every single day I've been posting a card of the day, so you may want to check those messages out as well. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead, and hope to see you all in the daily comments as well. Take care, Aries. Bye, my dears.